1,000-degree point. Otherwise, it's going to try to crack. Something called thermal shock. Now, we'll use that to our advantage here in a second to get the piece off the blowpipe. But right now, I want to keep it nice and warm. So I backed out a little bit. I'm just focusing most of my heat now on that base. Make sure all that yellow's melted in. And then we can bring this right back over here to the bench and shake that foot up a little bit. So we'll just grab the wet newspaper again, take a hold of this, and give it a little squeeze. That's how we make the base. Make sure it's nice and flat. And while I wait for the foot to cool down, we're going to put a little bit of heat right at the top. The top's thinner and cooler than the base. So it needs a little help here. Stay hot enough and it's not going to crack. Let's make sure that it flips flat one more time. Alright, so we'll take a quick flash. That's a nice little even heat on everything. And we're going to hang this up. We're going to turn it around and work on the top half. So what I'm going to do is punty the piece. I'm going to grab a solid stainless steel rod. Get a little bit of clear glass on the end. And I'm going to fuse that little bit of clear right to the base of this piece. Now once that's attached to there, I'll have control with this new rod here, this punty, so we can break the piece off the blowpipe. And all we have to do is rapidly cool it past 1,000 degrees. Add a whole bunch of stress into it that's going to want to crack. But I'm going to do it really specifically. I'm going to put all that stress right in that valley, that little jack line that we made, so I can get it to break off right where I want. Otherwise, those cracks could just run anywhere throughout the piece. So let's just bring these two together, and we'll let that roll back to me. When it gets to the end down here, it's going to find center on the base and attach that. So now I've got control with this left hand. All right, we're going to cool the glass down a little bit. Now we're going to come over here and get a few drops of water. I'm just going to put a drop on this side. Let's get one on the other side. Give it a tap and it pops right off. Nice. Alright, so now, got about a 1-inch opening here. Alright, this is kind of the magic trick of this piece. So what I'm going to do is change that from a 1-inch opening to a 9-inch opening without ever touching the glass. All we're going to do is use heat and centrifugal force. So I'm going to focus most of my heat on the top half here, okay? Just by controlling the depth I'm going in. I can get the top half molten, we'll keep the bottom half warm in comparison. It'll be between 1,000 and 1,400 degrees, so we don't actually distort it. And once this top gets hot enough, the act of me spinning it's going to pull it open, make it go flat like a plate. So, after it goes flat like a plate, all we have to do is stop spinning, hold it down again, and that's when we get all the little ripples. Some people call it a fluted edge or a scalloped edge, or a wavy bowl. There's lots of names for it. Ours is a Mickey bowl. So, if I wasn't in an orange backdrop here, you could actually see this piece glowing brighter and brighter the hotter it got. But in an orange backdrop, can't see that happening. So what I'm looking for is first that hole's going to go smooth. Anything sharp that was on there is going to kind of round out. And I'm going to actually see the hole getting larger and larger in size. And once that happens, I know our heat's getting set up. So we go in, we get a flash. And I'll see the sides of the piece start to change shape. And then we're going to pull it out of here and spin a little bit quicker. We'll be able to open it right up. Now that hole's starting to move now. It's at about 2 inches across. I'll open this a little bit so you can kind of see it happening. We're going to go and get a flash. We're about 3 inches across now. Alright, about 4 inches across. We're getting the heat soaked all the way into this piece. Now we're going to be able to just bring that right out of here, spin a little bit quicker. This is where we go flat like a plate. And then we'll just stop spinning and hold it down, and that's when we get all those little ripples.
Wow.
All right. So now we've got the bowl. We just need a couple of yellow buttons on here to kind of finish up Mickey's outfit. So I've got those buttons pre-made and sitting on this little hot plate over here. They're about 1,000 degrees, and we're going to use another kind of punchy to pick them up. It's got a little clear glass rod. I'm going to get the end of it hot. So just like what we're using, got a little sticky glass on the end, and there we go. Pop it right on the button. Then I can get the button hot. Once that gets hot enough, we can just put it right on the side of the bowl. And then snap that clear rod right off. Let's do that one more time. Alright, so now we got Mickey's outfit all put together. So, right back into the heat we go. Just give the whole thing a flash. Make sure we're nice and warm. And I'm going to come back to the bench and we're going to spot heat these buttons one at a time. Because right now they were hot enough to stick, but not hot enough to bend. Okay, so they're called tack fused. And we need them fully fused to the side of this piece. So I got a 5,000 degree torch that's going to help me do just that. Let's come right back over here. This one's a little bit louder. And one at a time when we keep the buttons up. And then just kind of smush them into the side of the piece there. Okay, a little bit of heat right here in the base. So I'm going to have to touch this in water again. I'm going to have to remove this piece from the punty. And it's kind of my insurance policy. I'm just getting a little extra heat in this foot. Because we spent all this time making the bowl, and one drop of water can crack the whole thing. So we're just getting a little extra heat in there. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to take one last flash, just warm everything up. And then I need to get this bowl into that black box. And that box right there is called an annealer. It's a big glorified oven. It's 965 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough that this glass won't crack and cold enough that it won't move. So all day I can just load pieces in there. And then tonight I press play on that little controller beneath it. That's going to slowly cool this glass down for about 10 hours. It's going to relieve all the stress built up from different colors and temperatures, reshaping it, things like that. And it's going to make sure that it doesn't thermal shock. Because when you thermal shock the glass, it breaks really easy. Alright? So we'll get rid of that.
Crazy.
And then let's just fire polish the base. Right now that punchy broke off, could be sharp. Please hit it with about 5,000 degrees, make sure it's not going to be. Then I'll throw on a pair of Kevlar gloves here. Same ones firemen use. I'm just going to warm them up to about 800 degrees so I don't shock the glass when I touch it. And then we can just reach right here, pick this piece up, slide it right there into my annealer. And then we get to come back tomorrow morning and see how it looks.